Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for half of January and the whole of February 2015. And of course the sun's in your sign, so happy birthday and many happy returns to you. And it's a powerful time. It always is with the sun, which is the center of our solar system, to be going through the same place as it was when you came into this three-dimensional world in a physical body. And this is a time for you to improve things for yourself, to do nice things for yourself, whatever they happen to be. There is, it's a chatty time, you know, it's a time for exchanging views and comparing notes, but it's also a time of a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of jitteriness in the air, and that's for all the signs, it's not just for you. But this is a good time for you to have a review. And then the sun moves from the 19th of January and goes into the following area, which is more materially orientated, and that's there. The sun is there until the 19th of February, and this is being just more aware of the physical, material side of life, maybe finances, property, possessions, and the like. It's stuff, but it can also be your physical self as well. It's anything that's physical for us, and diet, food, that kind of thing, and what you're putting through your body, and seeing how to improve things in any of these areas, whether it's about property, whether it's about your financial situation, your material situation. It's looking at that. And during this time here, though, there's a little bit again of this theme of uncertainty going on. There's this feeling of I don't quite know, I'm not quite sure, I haven't got the information that I need. And there can also maybe be illusion or self-delusion related to this quite materialistic area. So it's best to be sort of careful with anything which is of value to you, whether that is in a material sense or in just with your feelings, with your emotion, whatever is of value to you. Mercury is there as well, and there could be discussions which have a very practical slant related to the physical side of your life, but also to the material matters in your life as well. And you are just considering essential needs, gathering information about that, exchanging views with others. What is of most value to me here? How do I prioritize now? But Mercury is retrograde. Mercury goes direct only on the 11th, and after which things will tend to get unstuck and start to kind of unfold. And if there's glitches, if there's been delays or postponements, or you haven't heard back from somebody, or you've had to go over something again, then that will tend to sort of get smoothed out from the 11th onwards. But there still remains this theme of not being able to be decisive, feeling a bit stymied, feeling a bit stuck. And again, as I say, with all of the signs, but at the same time, there's a little bit of nervousness with this air of change just hanging around, and that's for all of the signs. And particularly in the last few days of January and the first few days of February, you could be concerned about something you're close to, or maybe not sort of emotionally close to, but it could be somebody you work with, somebody that you are liaising with. What's going on with them, so there could be a little bit of concern there about them, or to do with them. And then at the same time as the sun is in this area, we've got Venus and Mars in a very sociable sector of your solar chart. So that's you getting out and about more, that's you making connections or reconnecting with people, you gathering information, you disseminating information, you learning things. Media is favored as well. Also anything to do with artistic self-expression, that's favored. Negotiations are favored, especially with Venus there up until the 21st. You can get yourself a bargain, no matter how small or big you could. That little bit of support could be coming your direction related to maybe something in the material area of your life, which means that you could do quite well there. And also Mars, Mars is also in this area, and means that you could be just not backwards in coming forwards with your opinions. So be careful, because the Mars energy in this communication sector can make us a little bit outspoken. However, if you've been wanting to get something off your chest and you're not used to actually sharing and putting your cards on the table, then this can be a great one. But if you're the other way around, then this can mean that people see you as being a little bit over the top in what you're saying, or in fact, even though you think it's completely reasonable, they just might take, be sensitive to the way you're saying it, or the way you're putting it across. It's not what we do, it's the way that we do it, isn't it? Yeah, just be aware of that. But you can do quite well through media. You can do quite well with anything to do with maybe the internet as well, because this is an area to do with networking and communications equipment. You can do well with education as well. So if you want to sign up for something, or if you want to help somebody to learn something, this is a great period for that as well. And then Mars and Venus move more or less at the same time. Mars on the 20th, Venus on the 21st, into the next area, the next house, as we call it, and that means that you're going to be busier than usual around HQ. There could be more hustle and bustle going on there. But still, there's this friendly light, it's a sociable light. There could be moments of tension because Mars is a bit feisty. Nothing to do with you at all, it's simply the planet. There could be, tensions going on, conflicts going on, skeletons rattling in the closet, you harking back to the past, maybe raking over the past, I don't know, or somebody else is doing it. But getting out into Mother Nature would be a very good idea. Also, this is a good transit for looking for property. I mean, if you're not doing up property, then looking for property, or getting out, into the garden and getting that going. If you're in the northern hemisphere, this would be the time of the year. So, yeah, looking into that sort of thing. But connecting, more with the past. As I say, there could be a blast from the past, or indeed with parents and the parental energy. But with Mars and Venus together, you can be quite passionate, or something quite passionate can be going on related to family members or the neighborhood, and you feeling quite assertive and decisive about how to get things going, because this is the time to get things going in the sort of the foundations of your life. And also in your private life maybe as well, and with your feelings. But Venus is there, and Venus means that there is this very supportive, enabling light there, which can manifest, well, in various ways, but it's a welcoming light. So there can be visits into your space, or you're visiting somebody else's space, or it can mean that you are getting together with others, or indeed you literally teaming up with somebody to improve the place, or looking for a new place. It can be like that as well. Now, and yeah, of course, Mars, as I've said, it does accelerate mental processes, having Mars in the area in the area before that as well. So when Mars moves on the 20th to the root of your chart, that's when your mental processing will sort of calm down and slow down a bit, even though the Sun will have moved in there to replace Mars and Venus on the 19th. So on the 19th onwards, the Sun comes into this very sociable area, making connections, getting out and about, meeting and greeting, and all of that sort of thing, but also education and gathering information. Now, Saturn, your ruling planet, has entered the sign before yours, and in many ways you will see this slowly as the transit unfolds, or indeed probably towards the end of the transit, that you're in preparation mode for it coming into your sign in 2017. And this is the time for you, over this long transit between now and 2017, to face up to things to do with the past, clear up the dross, really, left over from the past, and declutter where necessary. Of course, lots about the past is valuable, and you want to, keep a hold of going on into your future. But there can be some things which are counterproductive, even in your own behavior or relationships, or so tying up loose ends from the past, maybe doing some therapy, maybe doing some more self-nurturing type activities as well. That would be highly recommended during the time that Saturn is there, and maybe working on something quietly behind the scenes, which can be presented maybe a little bit later on, perhaps when Saturn comes into your sign, or indeed this year when Jupiter goes into Virgo, which will be from August onwards. And speaking of Jupiter, oh no, Capricorn, you Capricorns born the 24th to the 26th, or with 2 to 6 degrees rising, you're going to feel that energy the most over the forecast period. And then Jupiter is in his new cycle now. He's in Leo, and this means that your life could grow and expand in very, very good ways. Maybe you get more space. It could very much be this, that you get more space, or you're able to expand in some way, or get access to a space that you very much more like. You could find that you get to travel more. It may be that there's maybe that there materially there could be somebody around that's just helping you out in a material way. And also you could feel more settled emotionally as well. And you Capricorns born the 4th to the 10th, or with 14 to 19 degrees rising, are going to feel the energy the most at the moment. And then Uranus, you Capricorns born in the middle 10 days, or with 11 to 16 degrees rising, are going to feel that the most. And Uranus is at the root of your chart. So there's this changeableness and a little bit of maybe uncertainty hanging around the property, or maybe it's the neighborhood, or whatever it is. So, you know, watch that space, particularly if you are born in that particular window of time, although it will affect the whole of the sign. That, you know, there's this feeling of just passing through, really. There can be with Uranus there. Or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's to do with your family or extended family, tribal relationships. And maybe there is this feeling of change and of destabilization for some reason, to do with friends, to do with or group associations or extended family, tribe, that kind of thing. And Pluto is in your sign, and those of you born in the middle 10 days, or with 12 to 16 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. And Pluto is doing this major cosmic makeover on you, Capricorn, and it will not be the same as it used to be, and you will slowly come to realize that in whichever area your sun in Capricorn is, in any of the 12 areas it can be in your natal chart. We're just looking at your solar chart here. But wherever it is, that area will be the area through which you change radically. And the characters associated with that particular stage of the 12 stages there can be, will bring to bear their influences as you slowly go through this huge, radical evolutionary change. They will be the sort of like the key players there, and of course you will be at the center of it. So it is a time of it's sort of like a major overhaul, really, and partly it's to do with us as mortal creatures on this earth, but partly it is to do with you as an eternal soul, and this is just one of those times when you are shifting onto the next level. And that's it. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And if you want to, you can read all this. It's on my website, probably a little bit more on my website than I've given to you here, or in some areas, in other areas less. And I'll see you the next time.